Despite what their moms told them, they just aren't talented enough for radio. Unfortunately, anyone can have a show these days. Sean.
Well, I'm pretty hard to figure out sometimes. In fact, I can't even figure myself out sometimes, so don't you try to.
Joe.
You're an idiot and really a disloyal person.
This is the Cuse Militia. Now, those two unapologetically biased orange-blooded homers, Sean and Joe.
It's the most bullshit thing I've seen in 30 years.
Welcome, orange men and ladies. Happy Monday. This is the Cuse Militia with Sean and Joe. At Cuse Militia on the socials. Go there, join the militia. We are back. It's been busy. I've been busy. Joe's been busy. Joe literally just got home from work. I don't even know if he's had time to grab anything to eat yet. And he's at the microphone. So that's just kind of how it's been. So apologies. Syracuse wins 1 out of the last 7. And we can briefly talk about some of that. But there's other things going on. And since we've been gone, Syracuse has toppled Notre Dame, which they controlled the game from pretty much from start to finish and didn't seem to have any issues there. What the hell was it? Monday night game against UNC could have been worse than it was, but our standard is not to be able to fight back from 30 down. Our standard is to not go 30 down. So Joe and I talked in private about some of this already. And while they made it respectable against North Carolina, it's nothing to wave pom-poms about. And it doesn't make a difference if you can battle back. I think it's great. Donnie Freeman led with 23 points in that game. They trailed big. They made a furious comeback. After UNC held a large lead, they were able to turn UNC over. UNC got kind of sloppy, but Syracuse capitalized on just about everything they could. And while it showed fight, and you see the potential in the offense when shots are falling, you've still got a rebounding issue, and to get down that far to begin with is a problem. So, I don't know, the game against. I'm just going through these real quick, Joe, and you can feel free to give your thoughts after 1 second here. But the game against Virginia, I thought defensively looked pretty good. Again, we had problems with second chance points and rebounds. Second chance points were where is it? I had it here, 17-7, and we were out rebounded by 10. And 3 made 3-pointers to 10 made 3-pointers. Now we took 11, they took 30, but still, that's you're gonna get beat. And while they shot 49% from the field, which is great, in fact, they've been shooting pretty good from the field. I mean, more consistent in better numbers. Right. Just offensively, just a lot of standing around like we've talked, hands in pockets. And if someone can't be the hero, they are disinterested in the game. And it shows. Joe, I didn't watch the UNC game. I was just cheating by looking at the score. And I just was not able to watch it. I was at an event. So you watched it. I didn't go back and watch it because, why? Okay, yeah. I looked at the box score and I watched the score like every couple minutes as it ticked, and I understood what was going on.
Yeah.
So I did not listen to a presser. So finally, Joe, if you could start with the UNC game. There was the comments from Coach that you mentioned to me that we've kind of been talking about here, and some of the standing around and offensive magic that is not there.
Yeah. No, it's just. North Carolina to me was the epitome of what makes this year so frustrating. Albeit North Carolina gets up 30-something, and then we came back. I think they pulled Caleb Wilson and their center Vassar. I think they were playing a couple reserves, but nonetheless, went to the 2-3 zone, made a little bit of a run, caused some turnovers. made them shoot some bad shots, but we were making shots. We were scoring. We were fast break, scoring off of turnovers, and it's frustrating. And it's kind of the same thing with Virginia, but you see them make these runs against these teams that are going to be in the tournament, and you see the talent, but
potential.
You watch the potential, yes, and you see, like, I watched the first half, kind of the same issue. Players they didn't look interested, right? It's one of those things where you never know what you're going to get, right? It's like one of those things where it's like a cereal box toy, right, or the old Cracker Jacks that had the toy in it. You just never knew what you were going to get, right? And everything was a surprise. Some are good and some are bad. And that to me really is just the one thing that's frustrating, is when you see a team that can play like that, and you see a team that can play against Houston and beat a Tennessee and come back and have a 35-10 run against North Carolina at North Carolina. Go on a run and get within, tie and get within 3 at halftime of Virginia. You see the potential, and you still sit here and at 13 and 11 that we're most likely, barring a miracle, not going to make the tournament. And you don't really know who to blame. And at the end of the day, it's always going to be stuck at coaching. That's just, I don't get me wrong. Like, I never needed a coach when I was younger to be excited whenever I had a football or a basketball game, to put in my best effort. Like, I was ready to go, and I was out there and ready to prove myself to the other team. And I tried and did everything and put in and left it all out there to try to get a W. And you don't see it. And so that's why it's somewhat hard for me to put it all on coach, because I think it is up to the individual to prepare themselves for the games. But also at the same time, it's up to the coach to put those players in a position where they feel like that effort is going to end up putting them in a good position to win the game and for them to play good. So I don't think there's one answer here, but at the end of the day, it's always going to come down to the coach.
Right. I think that
whether it's fair or not.
Well, here's the thing. That's why they're the coach. Leaders take responsibility, not credit. So even if the credit isn't due, or the responsibility isn't due, it's still your responsibility. I mean, you're just supposed to take the fall for people. That's just what you do. And you're coaching at a high level, and you're getting paid a lot of money. And it shouldn't be a problem to put it on your shoulders and take responsibility for it. Because we could see the talent. They're not playing as a team. That's coaching. I mean, as far as I can see, that's coaching. This isn't the basketball tournament where we're trying to get contracts back into the pros, whether it be in America or overseas. It's college basketball, and everybody's getting paid now. So everybody's got to do better. Instead, we're stuck with mediocrity. And there was something I saw from, hold on, I retweeted it. So give me a second. I'll be able to give their due diligence here. Oh, that's right. It was Mike Waters. He says, in response to a tweet, or a response to a response, something along those lines. SU did what it could to retain Starling and Freeman, but according to many people I've talked to, SU ranks 9th to 11th in ACC NIL. Now, they've got talented players, but there's talented players all over the place. And there's a lot of schools out there that are spending a lot more money. Who do you think is going to get the more talented players? The team that's 9th to 11th in the ACC in NIL, or the team that's 4 to 6? Right? I mean, this is what the game is now. It's why Tony Bennett quit. He didn't want to go into people's homes. At the age he was at, he had 20 years left. Okay? This dude had plenty of time left. and it wasn't attractive to him to go into a home and just talk money with high school recruits. He wanted to build relationships. He wanted to help boys become men, and he wanted to build a team. And that's just not what's happening anymore in college sports. And when you've got a group of talented people that are all making a lot of money and they're all trying to go pro, it is your job as a coach to get them to play together and buy into what you're selling them so that they can put W's up. And if you've got the money and you got the players and you're not putting W's up, then you're going to get criticized. If you don't have the money and you have the players and you're not putting W's up, you're going to get criticized. If any combination thereof, if you're not putting W's up, you're going to get criticized. That's the name of the game. Everybody's getting paid. There's no more excuses. There's facts like Syracuse isn't spending enough. And to your point, Joe, like we talked the other day, it's hard for a school like Syracuse to balance putting their eggs in two different baskets, those baskets being football and basketball.
Right.
And, that's why you're I think that's what we're kind of dealing with. I think they've put a lot of money into basketball. I think we got a free ride with Kyan Anthony. I don't know how much he's making, but he doesn't exactly need the money right now. And I wouldn't be surprised if we got that kid for a steal. He didn't play 1 minute last game, Joe. What did you just bring up to me before we went on the air? About Kyan Anthony, about sitting Donnie Freeman.
Then that's the other thing is, you look back at Notre Dame, we beat Notre Dame. They sat Danny Freeman, he had him come off the bench. And some people think that made the offense a little bit better, sharing the ball and all that. Donnie Freeman still came out and I believe, still played more minutes than Sadiq White. But, it's, 24 games in, and it seems like we're still trying to figure out the rotation. We're still trying to figure out who's starting, the minutes, all that kind of stuff. And at this point in the game of the season, like a coach should have that. You'd feel like you'd have that wrapped up.
It should be wrapped up. Now I have a montage from the UVA game, and I just don't know if it's worth playing. So it's really not a whole lot there. And in hindsight being 2020, I'd have gone back and pulled some of the stuff out of the UNC game where Coach kind of talked about the things that we've talked about. And obviously there's a lot of criticism. Eric Devendorf was on, I think it was the Orange Zone podcast, and he said a mouthful and then swallowed it again. And basically, and you can go look it up. Okay, this is me paraphrasing, but from his mouth, something along the lines of the way that it was represented. His comments was that Coach Red behind closed doors. I'm sure that Coach Red knows his fate at the end of the year, which is he won't have a job, basically. And then he was like, "Oh, but I don't know that. I'm just speculating," which is fine. That's what we're all doing, right? Kind of to a certain extent. But the writing's on the wall is my point, and it's all people are talking about. And I'm sure it's a huge distraction to coach, the team especially. But this is a distraction coach should be able to overcome. But it is a distraction to the team. And if there were guys upset about the fan base or media critics or any of the like, and they wanted to make Red look good, they wouldn't stand around with their hands in their pants on offense when they don't have the ball. We've got to do something. We've got to do something a little better than that if we want to win games. They're just not playing like a team on offense. The defense is good, man. Defense is pretty good. There's not a ton of problems with the defense, right? They have mental lapses every game, and I've said before, like Syracuse can fall behind so fast, but they take forever to claw back. But they've shown us that they can claw back. Not just the UNC game. There's been several games where they've come back. And they've made things respectable. But respectable with an L isn't going to put smiles on people's faces, put butts in the seats, and keep a fickle fan base happy. So, I mean, we can debate this all day. What comes first? We used to talk about this with football all the time. What comes first? Wins or asses in the seats, right? Support, right? And it's going to come down to wins. I mean, it comes down to wins. Plain and simple. You're the product. You have to produce something worth cheering about. I think every Syracuse fan is perfectly fine supporting the team. And I don't, look, here's the other thing. I think we should just go to Legit Jack in her comments, who is, her team is doing very good. I think they're 19-5.
Yeah.
And they're playing really well. And she had some things to say, I think, after a game about, she wasn't even queued up. She just decided to add her thoughts. So let's just go. We're gonna forego the montage, I think, Joe, even though I put one together. I don't think it's worth it. And we will take a look at this. So this is a clip from Ashley Wenskoski, I think. Wenskoski. And you can find her over on Twitter at Ashley Wensk TV. So this is post game, and let's take a listen.
It's money, but it's also the way people respect what they have. You get on social media, and you would think that somebody beating kids in the locker room, the way our fan base on social media comes after some of my colleagues. You don't see that with Louisville. You don't see that with North Carolina. You don't see that at Duke. We're having bad years in some sports. But do you have to say every time with a paragraph of negativity? This place, we built it at Buffalo, but everybody believed in the build, and everybody supported. And I think that's what we gotta get first. If we don't get a nickel, we gotta get people to buy into the fact that this is Syracuse University. This is a global school. This is an incredible academic institution. And guess what? We're gonna fly around in sport. We're gonna really do our best. And I know that we wanna be great. I was here when it was great. I was here when we were going Sugar Bowls, Fiesta Bowls, and I was here when we were, challenging in the Big East Championship. But I just never seen it get so negative here. What happened? We got to stop that part first. Yeah, people are having bad years. We got it. Yeah, you're sad because your child can't see them win. I understand that. But can you lift the person up too?
Okay, what happened is they stink. That's what happened. That's what happened. I mean, dude, come on. There are. Listen, Felicia, you can't be serious when you read social media and you go on a rant like this. First of all, it's exactly what most of these people on social media want. Okay, and she goes on in this speech to make an analogy between sports and real life. Okay. Sports isn't real life. It's sports. You're going to get criticized. She tells a story about her mother. And you can go on and listen to the whole thing. And it's respectable. And first of all, I know all of this comes from a good place. And I understand the frustration, right? That's fair, right?
Yep.
But I think she spends too much time on social media. I think you got it when you look, dude, what have we said? Like we've been dealing with this for probably longer than she has. Right? When did she come here? I mean, we've been doing this for how long now, right? I mean, what do? We ignore it. When it gets super negative and redundant and ridiculous and over the top, we ignore it because we know it's bull crap. We know it's not real, right?
Yeah.
I just think that to use the analogy of beating kids in the locker room, and then she says, Louisville's fans aren't doing that. UNC's fans aren't doing that. Well, no kidding. I would love to see a UNC or a Duke program fall the way that our program has fallen. And let's see how stable their fan base gets.
Right.
Because I will bet you any amount of money that they collapse a whole lot faster than we did.
Oh, yeah.
Because their standard is much higher than ours.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to deal with the present, Miss
Right.
Jack. Yeah, you got to deal with the present, and this is the present. This is what we're dealing with. You need to. But she talks about needing people to buy in, Joe. Like, we've bought in, bro. This is where we're at. This is year 5 of this. 2 of them under the legend Jim Boeheim. This is year 5. We've bought in. How much more do we need to buy before we just start the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
We've been there. We've been doing that. Okay. She needs to understand that. These are ridiculous comments to go in a press conference and start talking about the fan base like this. I promise you ain't going to help anything.
No. And again, I think that this is somebody that obviously is friends with Adrian Autry. I think that she took that time to
stick up for him, which
again, I mean, it's honorable, right?
Right.
And I get what she's saying, but at the same time, like what she said, even if we don't get a nickel, this is a prestigious school that, and you get it. I mean,
I don't work like that no more.
But it's not even about that. It's about the fact that when she said that we were here, I was here when we were doing this. I was here when they were going to damn bowl games and they were winning and they were going to the tournament every year, which is why you didn't hear it. Number one. Also, you didn't have social media because when you had bad seasons without social media, I'm sure there was a crap ton of fans at home that were thinking and saying these things, but just didn't have an app to put it on, right? Didn't have a platform to put it on.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's completely different now, right?
Totally.
And at the end of the day, I'm sorry, but yes, do I want the best for these players? 100%, right? But at the end of the day, like as a fan, like you said, they just want to be entertained and they want to see their team win. Like I'm not watching a game and it's like, oh, they played their hearts out, but at least they're going to get a degree in communications and go on and, you know what I mean? Like fans don't think about it like that.
We're not getting
right?
degrees anymore anyway.
No.
A lot of them.
Well, the more you transfer, then the less
education.
The less percentage you have of actually getting a degree. But nonetheless, that's I guess really the whole point. Is that it's to me it was somebody who was sticking up for a friend, but somebody who also seemed out of touch of how this works nowadays and the fan base and everything like that. Like I mean, I get what she's saying, and kudos to her when she talked about building it up in Buffalo. Yeah, Buffalo doesn't have
a history of prestige,
right? Exactly.
To fall from
the expectations of a Buffalo team in the MAC conference isn't going to be the same as Syracuse.
It's like Sean McDermott going to Buffalo. Let's be honest. Like
kudos to her. The women's team, they're 19-5 this year.
Yeah,
I mean they're probably going to make the tournament. They're doing good. But at the end of the day, if it was 13-11, then she'd be worried about her job too. Now, obviously, the women's basketball doesn't bring so much money, doesn't have as big of a following with the
How
fan
dare
base.
you? How dare you? How dare you?
I'm spitting facts.
How dare you? How do you figure?
I'm not saying that I don't want to see them win. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, you're not going to see as much stuff on social media about that kind of stuff.
With a team that is 19-5 in the women's basketball team, I feel like I should be getting force fed that over lacrosse already, and I'm not.
Right.
So that should show you about where the interest is at, and that's just my point of view from looking at social media.
No, yeah, because at the end of the day, what do we see when we say thoughts on the game? We don't see a lot of the fans turn around and being like, hey, well, the women's team's 19-5. You should watch them.
Has anyone said it?
On to lacrosse season.
Right. Exactly.
I follow them. I watch them. I watched the game against Louisville yesterday, number 6 Louisville, where they came back. They made a run. They ended up losing. But, I mean, you got some people that follow it. Some people don't, but they're not going to talk about it as much as the other sports. And it's just to me, it just seems like it's a friend sticking up for a friend without really using a little bit of just logic and common sense when it comes to what you're really talking about. Because if you really think that fans are out there trying to put in money into the NIL and everything, and they're just still going to be okay with us losing because, hey, this kid he's still going to college, and yeah, we all are happy that these kids are getting out of certain situations because they're good at basketball or football, and they're giving a chance to get an education and to get out of the ghetto, as she said, right? But at the end of the day, as a fan, you want to see wins, and if you lose, none of the fans are looking at there's no place we can go on social media or on the internet where we can look up these players' GPAs and sit there and cheer for the schoolwork that they do. Right? We're looking at W's.
W's is going to make everything better.
Yeah.
It's very simple. And as a coach and a former athlete for Syracuse, she knows that. But she's blinded by an emotional statement in regards to sticking up for a friend, which is admirable, like you
100%.
said.
It's 100%.
But it's not based in reality. It's based off of emotion.
Right.
And when we base things off of emotion, we tend to forget what really matters. And that is not just my personal thoughts or the way I feel. It is the context of all of the things that have happened up to this point in Syracuse basketball for the past 5 years.
Right.
And none of that's taken into consideration.
No, and it's easy to say it from her aspect because, again, you're talking about a situation where you have someone who's got a personal relationship with these people. She's got a personal relationship with, men's basketball players, her team and her coaches, Red Autry and her coaches. Of course she wants to see them succeed. Of course she cares about everything in their personal life and everything that's going on with them and hoping that everything works out, right? And I'm not saying I'm not cheering against that. I'm not cheering against that. I want everything to work out too. I want everyone to be successful and be happy, right? But if I don't have a personal relationship with you and I'm a fan of a team, I don't know Donnie Freeman. I hope he's doing well in school. I hope everything's good, right? But at the end of the day, we're looking at it like we want W's. We want it to see Syracuse successful, which in turn helps those kids out to be more successful as well, right?
Come again?
I said it helps the kids, right? Yes, you're going to school, you're getting an education and everything like that. But if the kids win, then obviously they get more recognition. They get to be seen more. They get talked about more. So in turn, we want to see wins, and if the team is good and successful, then that's only going to help them out and help them be more successful as well, right? So at the end of the day, as a fan, you want to see your team win. And you're not going to sit there and just be happy with a 13-point loss at Virginia because Syracuse is a prestigious school and these kids are going to end up getting an education and they're going to go on and do great things, which I hope they do.
Well, I mean...
But as a fan, the game is what affects you,
that's
right?
not why we watch, right?
I don't watch him play basketball because I hope he ends up being a lawyer in 10 years.
Right. We don't...
Which I hope he does.
Sure. Well, of course, you want the best for him, right?
Right.
It's like... Joe, you and I talked about this, and I'll just mention it. And I've talked briefly about it, and I'll make it quick. There's not a long diatribe to it, but... Malik Brown was one of my favorite players playing for Syracuse. And Quadir Copeland. Okay. We've talked about Copeland recently though. So, they were, there was a point in time where you'd get attached to players and it would be emotional. I mean, not breaking down crying, but you get sad when you see them leave because you get used to them being there. You feel like you know them. You know what I'm saying? You feel a connection because you've watched them 4 years, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure there's fans teared up during halftime when they did Lawrence Moten thing.
Sure. Absolutely. And we all remember Moten back in the day and watching him, every year. I mean, his whole college career was spent at SU, right? So it's just not a thing anymore. So Malik Brown was at Syracuse for 2 years. He was one of the best defensive players of recent
Memories.
prowess. Yeah. So, Joe loved him. I loved him. Joe was saying Malik Brown before anybody really knew who he was. Okay. And I was quickly sold on this guy. Well, he goes and it's fine. It's all good, right? He leaves us and he goes to Duke, right? And he's fit in very good over at Duke. And he's an excellent basketball player. But I don't want to see him win. I'm sorry. I don't want to see anyone on Duke win. I'm really sorry about that, but that's just how it is. He doesn't care that he left all of us fans that loved him and loved to watch him play and was proud to have him in a Syracuse uniform. He doesn't care about that. And he shouldn't.
Best for him.
Right. And he shouldn't. And so we don't have to either. So there's a loyalty factor here that is just you get some of these players for a year or two and they're off again, and this there's no emotional attachment anymore to these teams. So it's easier for fans to get impatient quicker in the day and age of NIL, because it is, what have you done for me lately? Especially when you're paying players, you want to see something click. We were told about the talent that Red was bringing in this year. We saw the talent that Red was bringing in this year, and this is where we're at. So we're disappointed. It's a legit emotion, and it's it's righteous anger in terms of sports. It's to be angry at where the state of this program is right now, and it is justifiable to blame one guy, and that one guy is Red Autry. Unfortunately, freaking guy's a legend too, right? He's been a coach for a decade or more. I mean, he left and came back. He was a player for 4 years. I mean, everybody loves Red, dude. It's nothing personal. It's just, it's not where we want to see the program. We think it should be better than this. With these players, it should be better, and it's not. Plain and simple.
Yeah. I mean, that's really where it's at, right? I mean, again, like you said, as a leader, as a coach, that's where it's going to fall. And again, whether it's fair or not.
Whether it's fair or not doesn't matter. Because if I've got a team at work, and it's easy for us, I feel like everybody can relate to this. If you lead a team at work and that team fails, you don't start pointing the finger at them, right? Your boss is going to come down on you. Well, they're the product and we're the consumer. So, if your team fails and the customer's like, hey man, this team is failing. I paid money for this and your team failed me. They're horrible out here. Who takes that on? You take it on, and if you've got a problem, you fix it behind closed doors with your team.
Right.
I don't see anything getting fixed. So I'm still looking at the same things like that we've been looking at all year. Oh, yeah. And like you said, to your point, he still hasn't figured out his rotations.
Right. I mean, and ultimately, right, I mean, you're the one that hired this team.
Right.
I mean,
at least some of us.
Right. But if you're the one that's up for it, right, like if you're the one that's running interviews and you're hiring your team.
Oh, sure. Right. Yeah.
Or if you're a college coach and you're the one that offers the scholarships. You know what I mean? You are the one that is picking these people to be on this team. If they don't end up living up to it, then guess what? You kind of got to eat crow the fact that you might have recruited the wrong team.
I've hired the wrong people before, players. Unfortunately.
Everybody in that position has, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you fix it.
Right.
You continue to let this guy who had a great resume and he came in and interviewed great, but then he shows up at your job. I mean, I'm not saying it. I'm not even going to say it. It just they show up and they don't compete or perform the way that they sold it to you, or the way that their tape sold it to you.
Right. The way it gets sold to you a certain way, and they don't meet expectations. Right. You get pissed.
Them or you bench them.
You bench them. You bench them. There's a phrase my boss always says is, change your people or change your people. So, and it doesn't totally apply to this, but the branding of it is the same thing.
Right. And what do? You change your people. You might have to bench some people. You might have to change roles on your team so that the team works together better, right? Communicates better. I mean, there's multiple ways that you can do it. But at the end of the day, that is the coach / manager's position, right?
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's not just Coach Autry. There's
No.
three or four under him, if not more, maybe
Right.
even 5 coaches underneath him.
And again, that's my whole point. My whole point is that unfortunately you get put in a position where you make the big bucks, you make the calls, and at the end of the day, you're going to get the glory or you are going to get this on social media, right? And that's unfortunate because you hired your own assistants. If the assistants don't live up to their billing and they're not teaching the guys what you want them to, again, you hired them, right? Same thing with recruits. You got them there. You put them on your team. So at the end of the day, they show up. They don't perform the way you thought they were going to. Your team's not going to be as good as, no matter what you do, your team's not going to be as good as what you thought, right? But you made the decisions for those people to be in those positions. And it's going to come on you. It's going to be on you, regardless, whether it's fair or not. Everyone's going to blame it on Autry. Could it be John Wildhack? Could it be his assistants? Could it be the fact that these players, they can't show up and they're not ready, right? Because at the end of the day, oh, my girlfriend and me are in a fight and I don't feel like playing today, or I'm in my head, or this. Autry's not going to be able to coach him out of that.
Right. I mean, some of this should lay at Wildhack's feet. I think we forget about him too much.
Oh, yeah, I think we do as well. But that's my whole, again, that's where it comes down to. Like I said, I love Red. I don't want him to be remembered as
A failed coach.
The guy that had the worst record since World War II. Like, I don't want that. You know what I mean? I want him to be successful. But something's not working. And unfortunately, in this situation, it's always going to be that person's fault.
Yeah, unfortunately, you give him year 1 wasn't great, year 2 wasn't great.
Yeah, year 1 wasn't bad. But
Well, year 1 wasn't great, though. I mean, still didn't make the tournament. I mean, we kind of expected it, but you had some lingering players from Boeheim.
Yeah, but I think
they started strong, right? Wasn't that a year where they started strong and then they just kind of lost their way?
A little bit, but it was the Judas last year, and I want to say, to be perfectly honest with you, I think that they were one of the first 4 teams out of the tournament, and then they just decided they didn't want to play in the NIT. So I think they were close his first year.
Okay, well, fair. But
last year
wasn't good. This year you've got the guys, and you can't put it together. And unfortunately, things have to move quick in this industry now because of everything we've mentioned. The NIL, till they change this transfer rule, or they try to do something a little bit different. Salary caps. I think salary caps and transfer rules put back in place is going to solve a lot of problems for the coaches in NIL.
Yes, I mean yes.
It sounds simple, so that leads me to wonder why it's not being done.
And when you see other examples as well, right? Like, I mean, during the Virginia game, the announcers are sitting there and they brought up a whole thing of like Jay Lucas for Miami, first year coach, has got them probably going to make the tournament. Will Wade, first year NC State, got them turned around, and then this Odom guy for Virginia got them turned around. They look like a different team. So you sit here.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I was just saying I would have to see the turnover of the roster. But go on.
Well, I mean, there was a big turnover of the roster, but again, that's I think what the whole point is. I think the whole point of that is that it's a situation where you have a situation where we watch these other teams have complete roster turnovers, bring in a new coach, and they're going to the tournament. And so you see examples of that, and here we are year 3 of Red, and the fans are like, well, I want that over there. Like, they just did it in 1 year.
Yeah,
like, now in NIL, like, we
instant
can make this
gratification.
Happen. Oh, of course it's the instant gratification. And again, that comes down to, right, these phones, these social media. I mean, the reason why we can sit here and do this podcast, right, on a phone. Like, I mean, it's just, to what Felicia was saying, they didn't have that back then. They didn't have it back then. If they had it back then and you had a bad season, you probably would have heard the same crap.
Yeah, no, you definitely would have. You don't.
It's not easy. It's not as easily accessible, right?
We would have been struggling before NIL happened.
Right.
So, yeah, it's just social media just magnifies everything, and it's one of those things that you know you're not going to be able to get rid of it. So, like, if it bothers you, then you probably shouldn't be on social media. Because
there's always been fans like this. You just never got to hear.
Right. It's not real life. You and I have been dealing with it for a really long time. We laugh it off. Now, I'm not a player. I'm not a coach. But at the end of the day, I'm a pretty solid fan. And you and I have stuck our necks out for every coach and most of the players.
Yeah.
And we've always given everybody the benefit of the doubt.
I learned how to bake a cake.
yeah. It's just, 7 years later, I mean, anybody can bake one now if it takes 7 years. It never got done.
But I'm saying,
the cake never got done.
To our point, right? I mean, you always say, I've always been the guy that's trying to talk people off the ledge, right?
Yeah. I mean, you more than me. I mean, I feel like I'm a little bit more.
Yes.
I call it realistic. I feel like I'm like let's play this game. Who's more realistic? Ready? I don't think Syracuse is going to make the tournament this year, despite anything.
Yeah.
Barring a miracle from Lord and Savior Jesus Christ coming down and anointing Syracuse basketball. Short of that, they're not making the tournament this year. You would say?
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably there with you.
But
well, that's just. I mean, the but is that when I look at the top of the ACC, I mean, Clemson's number 2, and we played them to a 3-point game. Virginia's number 3, played good enough defense to beat them. If our offense was. I mean, NC State, North Carolina, Miami. I mean, it's not like it's out of the realm of possibility that we can't beat those teams. It's just
right
to be able to win that many in a tournament and get hot and make it happen. You'd need a bunch of teams to. But again, we've seen. This is why, bro. This is why. A couple years ago, you had the NC State. Right, we've seen UConn. I mean, we've seen
NC State was a solid team, though.
Okay, they weren't in the tournament until
I know
they went to the ACC tournament and won.
I understand that.
So I've seen weirder things happen. So
yeah,
again,
it's just not going to.
Right. I guess my whole thing is that I mean, yes, the light at the end of the tunnel for you has been closed, and I got about a pencil tip open.
That's a freight train. It's heading towards you.
Freight train coming your way, buddy.
Yeah. To quote the great prophet James Hetfield. All right, look, that's all I got. I know we didn't talk a lot about games, but this is what's going on in the news. Joe, I don't know if you want to hit Cal and SMU a little bit. I really don't have a lot, and mostly because I didn't focus my attention on it too much.
I mean,
I just know that these are two teams that I feel like they're in Syracuse's like talent range, right? I mean, these are two teams that they could beat.
Yeah.
Technically. Syracuse sits 68th in the net, which they didn't even move from the loss from Virginia that I saw, right?
No, we moved up after North Carolina lost.
Okay. Well, there you go.
I mean, that's my whole point.
So
I mean, we have a crazy schedule. Like our conference is way better this year. We had a good non-conference schedule for the first time. I'd love to see where our net is because we had a quad 4 move up to a quad 3. So if we would have beat Boston College and we would have beat Hofstra, I'd have loved to have seen where our net was. And being 15-9, you still kind of put yourself in a position where you're right there, right? So it's in Cal's 60th.
Yeah, that's where I was going. Cal
And
60.
I want to say something because I know we're not going to go. We didn't go through fan feedback 4 games and everything like that. But top fan, I just want to read one, and it's our top fan, Dom.
Okay.
And the only reason.
Hold on. I have to turn you up so loud that you're on the same channel as the board, and so it drowned you out. Go on.
Yeah, no.
Joe's having microphone issues. I got him cranked. Go on.
Dom says, I'm 100% sure Red teaches movement. There's no way he wants Donnie to have the ball in the post and not have any help rotate to him outside the three-point line. Virginia did it to SU all game long. It's basic. Either this team is selfish or has no basketball IQ, along with Red not being able to communicate. And if we remember Bobby Knight's way to communicate with players, not playing
throwing chairs at him.
Yeah. Butts to seats, right? Maybe that's why Cayenne didn't play today. Unfortunately, he can't bench everyone. He also was responsible for his message not getting through. That's why he will be replaced at the end of the year.
Well, I mean...
I just wanted to throw that out there because it's very much a lot of the stuff that we've been talking about, you know? Like, you don't want to... You can't just blame one person, but at the end of the day, it's going to come down to him.
Yeah, and you know, if the players are buying in, they're not doing a good job of showing it. And obviously, the fans aren't buying in because they see with their eyes the product on the court.
Yep.
And
average fans, too.
Yeah, your average fan.
We're not even talking about people that know what they're looking at.
You have to remember, too, that, you know, Syracuse is not like a UNC or a Duke where the schools rely heavily on student attendance.
Right.
Syracuse relies heavily on the public and Syracusans to show up.
Yeah.
And they are a fan base that I think legit are fed up at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you and I used to bag on the Syracuse fan, bro. The normie Syracuse fan, right? Mm-hmm. We used to. And, you know, I think we did it long enough. And if I was to do it any longer, I feel like I would look stupid. So I know when to pull back, despite, you know.
Well, you got people that I mean, they'll check out. I'm sure those type of fans aren't even watching the games at this point.
I mean, you're probably right. And I didn't even look at fan feedback, to be honest with you. I didn't look. I didn't look, and I don't mean to be disrespectful by that, but I just, I know if I'm super pissed after a game, I know everybody else is even probably more pissed. Because I find myself getting less emotionally invested in losses.
No, I mean, there was another comment on Facebook, and again, it gets down to, it's almost like one of them was sentimental. Like, he's like, it's not about the game, but he's like, I work with a Pittsburgh fan, and you know, this is just like kind of like paraphrasing or whatever, but he's like,
sorry, dude.
He said, I work with a Pittsburgh fan where, you know, we used to talk crap to each other, and we used to, you know, it was like a rivalry, and like, hey, who's gonna win, and this and that. He's like, and now we walk by each other and we
laugh
walk by each
you
other
both
in
laugh
the hall, and they don't even say anything, or they just kind of shake their heads because it's like, what has our teams become? Like, you know, you go from that to now it doesn't even matter.
Well, yeah, it does. It does matter. I would say that the Syracuse-Pittsburgh rivalry is still it's still there in basketball, and it's because they both kind of stink.
Bro, but that's what I'm saying. What is it? Like Pittsburgh's going to come to Syracuse
last. They might not even make the tournament.
Pittsburgh's going to come to Syracuse, and what we're going to play to see if we can, which team's going to make the ACC tournament is the last seed. Like, come on.
Well,
I hope it doesn't get to that because
it won't. It shouldn't.
There are 5 teams that only have 2 wins, and 2 of those teams, Wake Forest, which we go to Wake Forest, and then Pittsburgh at home, are underneath us.
And one of Boston's college's wins is against us.
Against us, yes. And then California, they're 5 and 6, we're 4 and 7, so we can jump up against them. So, you know, I don't think it's going to come down to that, but nonetheless, like here we are, dude. Like that's where it comes out. Like fan feedback now, they're just talking about nostalgia. I mean,
that's the standard. And when you get to that point, you're an old fan, and you don't have anything left. Like you feel like it's been ruined.
Dude, you get people from an hour or two away drive. You have people from Binghamton, Rochester.
Oh, sure, yeah.
North Country, like come down and watch the games because, it's Syracuse. It's it's the show in town.
Right.
You think those fans are coming down now?
No.
That's why we're not even touching even close to 25.
Right. And
maybe even 20.
Just for numbers' sake, SMU sits. Where the hell did they go? Well, they're just ahead of Cal in the ACC standings because of just Cal's played one more ACC game and they lost. SMU's 5-5, Cal's 5-6, but the SMU's net is actually 34th. So a good opportunity there, and you look at Cal being 60, and so if Syracuse, I'm telling you right now, this is for legit Jack. If they win those two games, that's how quick it could turn around. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, the fans will get excited again. It doesn't take much, man.
No.
I'm not asking for the world here. Like, string together a couple wins. One out of the past 7's not going to cut it for the normie fan. And not even the normie fan, but just diehards.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
I'm right there, bro.
Yeah. So
is that the most frustrating thing about this? And in some of these games I've watched, is I sit there and I watch spurts where it's like, oh God, are we going to actually go into Virginia and beat Virginia? And then
I thought it was possible.
Oh yeah, because they show you those spurts where it's like, okay, is this the switch? This is when it's happening right now? Like, are we doing? Oh no, never mind.
Oh nope, turn the ball over. Oh, another bad shot. Oh,
yeah, I mean. And that's why it's so frustrating with this team, because again, like I said, you see the talent. They show little glimpses where they could, are we going to come back and make this happen? And it ends up being the same result. So, I mean, here we are. But at the same time, I'm still hoping in my mind and in my heart that something can switch and maybe we can get some of these dubs,
It won't. Prove me wrong.
I can't prove you wrong.
No, not you. I'm not talking to you.
Oh, okay. I'm talking about the coach.
I'm talking about the team.
Yeah.
People are motivated by negativity sometimes. I'm like one of those guys. If you tell me I can't do something or I need to improve, like, I'm going to make that top priority to prove you wrong. Oh, you don't think I can do it? Watch me. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, you're not going to complain about someone booing you?
Yeah, like boo me. I mean, look. Let's take Kyle Busch. Let's take Kyle Busch. Take Kyle Busch. I know this is kind of apples and oranges. I know. But look. The dude gets booed. Look at Dale Earnhardt. But you either loved him or you hate him, right? But take Kyle Busch because most people hated him.
Yeah.
The dude gets booed all the time. He just soaks it in. He soaks it in and he uses it. Yeah. And he goes out and he wins races and he bows to the crowd and he's
he doesn't cry. Yeah, he doesn't cry. He goes out there and gets his shit done.
Yeah.
And then
he just shows them.
Look at me.
Go ahead and boo.
Every one of y'all were wrong.
Yeah.
Look at me.
Exactly.
Feeds his ego.
Exactly. Use it that way. Don't go, oh, they're mean. They're mean. They're so negative.
Respectable fan base.
Like, come on. Use it. Don't even mention it,
bro.
Yeah, get a dub. Have a night. Have a night. Bow. Show us a bow. Do something. I mean, don't go get all in your sads about it.
Give us a reason to give you a standing ovation.
No kidding.
Other than the beginning of the game and the half, waiting for you to make a shot.
Here's the thing with a Kyle Busch now. Like, he doesn't get that treatment as much anymore because people respect him now. Like, he's just that good. Why waste our time?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I understand that college basketball isn't going to last that long. He's been racing for 2 decades at the top series. So, it's a little different, but he used negativity to, like you said, feed his ego.
Motivation.
It's motivation. Use it. And there's no better advice for a team of any caliber that's struggling than to use that as motivation to prove people wrong.
100%.
So, all right.
Hey, look, Chris Bell coming to the Dome.
Chris Bell comes to the Dome. Can't wait. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you. Sorry for leaving you hanging for a little bit. We will be back to our regular schedule. For Joe, I'm Sean. Route.